Bop, 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 bop. Okay, it's been a minute, and honestly, I have forgotten to go back and render these. I'm basically rendering these all at once, it seems like, because I've been lazy about it. So I honestly don't know where I left off, and I have only edited the very first episode because I wasn't sure I wanted to do the format, so I just cut a piece out. But other than that, I'm literally not editing these at all. They are straight streams of consciousness posted because it's easy that way, and honestly, that's just the truth. It's easier that way. So let's look at my report card. So based off of my report card, this was going. I think it was getting ready to go into the death of Lizzie. So obviously predicted that right. Boop. And I definitely predicted Henry got a heck ton of votes, like a lot. I was shocked he was not picked. So funny enough, it was Henry's vote for Rayanne that got pulled out of the hat, and then it was Rayanne's pick of Sarah that got picked. So in a way, it was kind of funny. I was like, well, Rayanne, you got to choose who you faced in a way, and she beat her. Sorry, Sarah. I did pretty. Sarah actually got a decent little bit of votes. Shanika got a decent bit of votes. No votes for either of the Carvalhos. Luis Raquel got 0 votes, which was shocking. Shocking. Everyone in production was looking at each other like, what the fuck? If not now, when? Because then we went into Top Model, where we lost Henry and where we lost Rayanne. So the cast is getting pretty thin. We are just getting ready to get into Murder. I almost said Murdered in a Party. Murders in Outer Space. Also, let me kind of make this a little bit bigger. So yeah, we're gonna talk about games. Now I will say, Murders in Outer Space in this format, I put it here because I wanted it's a very, it's kind of a more fun, upbeat kind of format, but looking at it, because this is also a simpler format by design, it's going to make this cast realize very quickly that, okay, I'm in a room and I got 5 bits of information. If we all trade 5 bits of info and we're all doing this, we're gonna just have to get stuck with the stupid test. And the tiebreaker question, y'all probably ain't gonna like. I mean, you're not gonna think about it up front, but if it comes down to the tiebreaker question, you're not gonna love that, because the question is, so that way it's on record now, is how many victory points are in the game. And so you guys are gonna have to guess it, and yeah, and it will be based off of obviously the snapshot of when it's sent out. So the quiz results wouldn't change the numbers, but and that'll be the tiebreaker of the next round too, which is why I'm not gonna tell you the answer. But yeah, imagine that being what your fate is. So footnote to whoever goes home and Murders in Outer Space, if you're watching this, was it a tie? Did we tie? Was it messy? How do you feel? Was there anything you could have done different? But with that, let's get into our tier making. So I will say the game has definitely shifted. Like, the game has now, we've gone from, I feel like, the mid game, because I feel like we had that long break, and now we've shifted into the end game now. And do you know whose end game equity is gigantic and is the hottest commodity in town right now? Is Quentin. Okay, so let me get everybody in S tier first, so I can get them out of the way. Actually, no, let me. Okay, see, because it doesn't let me take him off, which is so annoying. Quentin, first of all, the Top Hat chat did exist without Quentin, as we've already discussed. But now the actual Top Hat chat with Quentin is talking again. Then let's talk about how all these other little side lines talk about they want to scoop up Quentin. Everybody's talking about, I'm going to message Quentin because he won this format. And a lot of people don't know a lot about this format because it's newer and it is different. And I didn't post a lot about it. But it's made him a hot commodity. Hot commodity. And that's great. I also think Quentin, he won this format. I feel like he's going to do fine. Yeah, I feel like Quentin is almost a lock for the next format. I mean, I would genuinely be shocked. Granted, I don't know how these tests are going to roll in, etc., etc., but Because, I mean, honestly, it's hard for me to say who I see. I mean, we'll get into it. Okay, so next is Tammy. Tammy, I think, is in a very interesting spot. Because at this point, there's the side, like, because Tammy was always on the other side for a lot of the game, to some people, or she was on the side of those people that she was with. So that is, if Tammy's side of the people that she's with ends up being like the final island going into safe room at the final format, that's great for her. But if it's not that, she's now starting to get a little bit of leeway. Tammy's also just very busy at the moment, which will give her an excuse to be able to pick up things with people once it's said and done, but it's not said and done yet. So we'll have to see. Tammy is in a pretty good spot, though. I don't know how well she'll adjust to the format, but she played Murder Dinner Party, and, the room search and stuff like that is pretty similar. So I feel like Tammy is going to do all right. I feel pretty good about Miss Tammy. She is my winner pick, after all. I gotta see who everyone else's winner picks are. I can't remember who everyone else picked. I know Marky picked Ruben. So, all right, next is Stephanie. Stephanie, I actually think is also doing all right. I think she's gonna have access to the information, and I think she's gonna be smart enough to like use it well. My issue is with Stephanie is thinking long game. I think, like, this is so, like, a lot of people are going to wind up in B, because it's, like, you guys are doing, like, everyone left is doing pretty darn good, and everyone kind of, it's, like, we're at that point where it's, like, oh, okay, we have, like, if there's a narrative, if there's a storyline, as characters, fall out, more characters get moved in, etc., but I feel like everybody left, for the most part, is a main pillar storyline character. So it's like, now we're seeing like clashes. So it's like, oh, okay, we don't really, know. And, obviously we never really know, but it's especially a big mix up now. I think, like Hunger Games is kind of a reset. Top Model was a reset, and that's it. There's no more kind of resets. But Stephanie, I think, is in a good spot. I really do. I think she's got Raquel that she's working with on the one side. That's completely like sleeper that I don't think anyone's really talking about. She's got her alliances that people do know about. She's giving good energy. Allie, I'm not as confident in. Allie has been playing a very good under the radar game through most of the game, but we're at that point where it's time to level up. Like it's time to turn on, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's time to boom, take control of the game. I mean, granted, there's still further to go, so Allie's got time to do this, but that's what Allie needs to look to do to level up. Because Allie didn't get some of the, she didn't get some of the worst, but she did get some of the not great, touchy subjects. So Allie just needs to level up her game from here. I don't want her to get caught in the riff-raff, because it's hard to say, because Allie could also have a great Final Girl storyline. It's like, it's difficult. This is so tricky. I do worry for Allie in this format, though. Allie gets in her head. And I really worry about Allie in the next format, which is Saw. I don't know if we've said that on record yet, but it is. And yeah, that's all I have to say on that. William, I think, is... William's given, like, oh, he could win. Like he's given me that. The only thing with William is his victory points are a little low. So that hurts him. That's keeping him out of that. Quentin does have a lot of victory points. He's gonna get clocked for it tonight, though. So we have to see how people react to that, because we haven't done touchy subjects yet. But a lot of people vote Quentin for most victory points, which I don't believe it actually is Quentin. I don't have my phone with me, so next time we do this, we'll check the scoreboard. It's Melissa. Melissa has the most victory points, because I think she's the only person in the 30s. Everyone else is, for the most part, in the 20s, except one or two people are in the like Max has like no victory points, and Max is not giving me what I need either. He's just busy, and I get it. And he's doing what he can, and he's surviving, and Max has impressed me this game, and I'm not gonna say I'm not. But when we're looking at games that need to level up, Max is in that same seat as Allie. So they're both in the C tier. They've both got strong. Like, obviously, everybody who's gotten here completely deserves it and has been playing very hard. It's been playing great. But Max needs to level up. I need to see Max just kick it into the next gear. Because the thing is Max could easily just. Like, Max could be a pretty easy safe room kill. Like, first round, like, when there's 7 of us. It's like, who talks to Max? Stab. And then it's like, go from there at 6. And I worry for that fam. I also worry that Saul, it's like, okay, well, who gives a shit about Max? Like, if things go awry, we'll just push Max in the way, you know, in theory. And that's how I feel about Allie, too. Like, I feel like they're gonna become disposable if they don't become core. You know, like, it's like, okay, people are gonna try to move you out now. And you need to stand and be strong. Because that's the difference between a disposable character and a non-disposable character. Obviously, some people stand there and be strong, but when the cake, you know, when the platform is this big, people just cut the platform. It's like, bye, we'll just cut you out and vote you out, you know. But now it's like dissolving, and I would hate to see them get dissolved. Next, Melissa. Melissa is running this game right now. I mean, hands down, Melissa is on firing on all cylinders. She's in, like, it's like Melissa and Quentin right now are for sure playing probably the strongest games, which I'm so happy with because I know I gave Quentin a hard time earlier in the podcast. But Quentin really did come out and start swinging. He got that charm on bitches. Melissa, I do worry, is a little bit more visible, but we'll see. I do worry for Melissa in Safe Room. But I don't worry for Melissa really until Safe Room. Like, I feel like Melissa will get through Saw. I feel like Melissa will get through this format. Because only one person's going to die in Saw. So, we're only going to lose one person in Saw. Next is Shanika. Shanika still is giving me great winner energy. I love her story if she's a winner. But right now, she's playing a survival game. Because people are clocking her as paranoid. People are clocking her as likely to die in this format. So Shanika just needs to get through. And Shanika needs to do no more or no less. Because I don't really see a path where Shanika's able to strengthen a whole lot of bonds right now. Just because of the way the game is shaken out. So Shanika just needs to have a decent working relationship with people as we get into the very end game, where it's like, okay, like, this person needs to go, Shanika, help me out, kind of thing. That's where Shanika needs to get to. And next are the Carvalhos. Carvalho, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Y'all better footnote scream at me if I said it wrong, but I think I'm saying it right. Carvalho, I think. Yeah, anyways. I'm half tempted to leave them an S because there ain't no reason they should both still be here at 10 out of 28 players. That's insanity. That is insanity. That being said, no, I think I am going to leave them an S tier. I don't see how they die in this round. And they're going to help each other out in Saw, because duh. And then they're going to help each other in Safe Room, which is huge, because duh. Hey, Luis, I won Obsession. Raquel, you beat Killer. Or vice versa. It's like, y'all fucked up. And they deserve it, truthfully. And you know what's funny is if they go to the end together, everyone thinks Luis is going to win, but Raquel's beating Luis in victory points. I think. Which, how hilarious. Because, you know, Raquel's top model story, because Raquel obviously had some first place finishes, do not get me wrong, and Raquel's had some very strong points in this game. I think Raquel's played overall a much stronger game than Luis. Luis has played a flashier, glitzier game, which is more exciting and fun. But Raquel's played a stronger, steadier, healthier game. I feel like is a better... Healthier game is like the perfect term. So it's fitting that Raquel would win it at the end. I mean, obviously there's so much that can happen with victory points, but right now. But this is my tier list. Raquel and Luis are both worried about being targeted, but you cannot be targeted in this format. I mean, y'all probably won't win the captain's comp because y'all gonna get chopped. But even then, y'all ain't gonna chop each other. So it's like, they fools. Fools. Players down here are dead because they spoke of the dangers of this up here. And now here we are with them up here and them down here. It's very interesting. It's very freaking interesting. But with that, we will check in probably after the first... Definitely after the first murder. Or at least after I've calculated results. I may not have given results, but I want to know who dies before we go from any further. Also, side note, Slaves or Galore, how hilarious. It is very fitting because Rayanne placed second last time when we did Murders in Outer Space. That now when we re-enter Murders in Outer Space, Rayanne is the body in the morgue. Like, it's her body because she was the last player to be eliminated. It's just funny. And then Lizzie comes back, reprieves the bombshell, and dies in Murder Dinner Party. Like, it's just very interesting. It's like, couldn't, like, too crazy to even make up. You know what I mean? Like, it is very interesting. Paul died in Hunger Games, so... Hunger Games. That feels like a freaking lifetime ago. This game's been so long. What am I going to do with my life after this? But that's it, y'all. I'm ending it now. I will see you on another one in 3, 2, 1.